So very nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hello, Miki. I have a very lovely guest today, Miki Takahashi. I hope I said your name very well. And I would like you to introduce yourself because you have a huge story to tell. How did you develop your skills and your career up to this point? Because we're sitting in Birmingham and it's a long journey from Japan to get here.
Yes. Well, I started my musical education in Japan, started when I was 4 years old. And I went to Canada, to Toronto, to study further my violin with a fantastic teacher there in Toronto, in the Glengould studio, the Glengould School at the Royal Conservatory in Toronto. And then I moved on to Berlin in Germany to study, actually switching my major from modern violin to the Baroque violin, which is currently in my hand.
Beautiful.
So I started to focus on the earlier repertoire of the music from 17th century, 18th century, and playing on the historical instruments, meaning that the instrument I use, the bow and the violin I use, is the original or reconstruction of the instruments they've used back then, which is slightly different from the modern violin they use right now, and the style is different. And then I met my husband actually back in Canada when I was a student, and we got married in Germany, and he found a job eventually in Birmingham in UK. So that's why we moved here to Birmingham, and now we live here. And I work as a freelance musician in UK. And it ended up, for me, it's better for me to be here, because in UK, early music, Baroque music is very strong culture. Handel and Purcell and these Baroque repertoire being very strong English repertoire, and historical performance is quite popular here in England. So yeah, I have lots of work to do here as a freelance musician. So yes, that's how I came here.
Fantastic. You have a very beautiful background. Would you be so kind to tell us why we're sitting here exactly in this building?
Oh yes, this is a Buddhist center in Birmingham. We came here to do some drop-in meditations when I was not so pregnant and so on, to have some peaceful moments. And people are very kind, and they also have a very nice big space to do a concert. So I've done a couple of concerts with my husband together with the duets, etc.
How lovely is that?
Yeah, by the way, my husband plays a viola. So yeah, and ever since then we have this good, nice relationship, and they kindly agreed to let me use this room for the interview.
That's fantastic. That's very kind. And obviously I have to mention it because you look so beautiful with your tummy, and I anticipate you expecting a baby.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is it going to be your first one or?
My second baby. It is going to be a girl, I hear.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I already have a boy, so.
It's a very good balance, and it seems to be a Christmas present, hopefully.
Yes.
Or at least very close.
Yes.
That's fantastic, Miki. Would you be so kind to tell me why did you choose this music to play?
Yes. Well, I used to be a normal modern classical violinist, learning whatever romantic violin concertos and doing normal orchestra repertoires like Mozart, Beethoven on usually, and Tchaikovsky violin concertos, Brahms, whatever, etc., etc. But I started to feel that something was not right, or I was hitting a limit. And I encountered an early music people in Toronto, back in Toronto, in the school. They offered a performance practice class, which is basically teaching how they used to play music on the violin, historical violin, in the 17th, 18th century. And I was fascinated by it.
Mm-hmm.
It opened up an entirely new repertoire to me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people do know Bach and Vivaldi repertoire. Still, people play that on the modern instrument as well. But these are relatively at the end of the Baroque music. And if you open up, you find Corelli, Bieber, Marini, Uccellini. It's just Purcell. There are so many.
So big field, yeah.
So many repertoire opening up in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to confess, I don't have such a stamina in general. Playing a Tchaikovsky violin concerto, which takes 25 minutes alone to play the first movement sometimes, was too much struggle to me physically as well as mentally to sustain that romantic intensity. As opposed to Baroque music, which tends to finish in 5 to 10 minutes. Longest piece would probably finish in 13, not more than 15 minutes, one movement.
I see.
And in comparison to the Tchaikovsky violin concerto, for example, Bach's violin concerto would finish everything, all three movements, inside 15 minutes, for sure. And it's characteristic, very often very sensitive, well articulated, and it was more about speaking. They talk so much about the rhetoric of music, so it was very important for them to express the emotions of the given music or movement, and that's been very strongly emphasized. And a lot also the popular form of music back then was passacalia, which actually it just means that you have a bass line or set harmony which repeats itself, which is a bit like a modern pop music actually. You just repeat the same harmony for a few bars, and then that goes until the end of the music, or at least one section of music is like that. And it's actually quite easy to take on, even if you are not a fan of classic music. I actually know some professional early musicians who came from the popular music world, who used to play the bass or electric guitar, and got fascinated by this world and came to this side. So, in essence, it has more freedom as well, and open-mindedness, and yes, it was very interesting, and it just suited me much better. Yeah, I felt much more home playing all this repertoire. So when I started playing this kind of music, very quickly, I just lost the interest on pursuing my career on the modern violin, which was hitting my limit, and I felt, okay, this is what I want to do.
And it's more unique, if I...
Yes, it is unique, yes.
You are unique yourself, but playing this music, it makes you even more standing out.
I also find it's more important these days to specialize yourself on some specific region of the music, to make yourself a bit more stand out. I think it's true for any career these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. And could you please say something about your instrument, because it looks beautiful, but obviously you have a huge story to tell about your instrument.
Probably she knows it much better than I do, because she's made back in 1764. Very old instrument, from Italy. It's Galliano, and yes, it's been converted to the modern violin once. So when my parents bought this instrument, it was modern violin. And then when I definitely decided to pursue my career on the Baroque repertoire, I basically commissioned someone to reconstruct the violin back to the Baroque state. So it has a different bridge, slight alteration inside, different neck attached, and I use a different bow, which is a historical bow. Also This is not an old piece because bows usually can't survive that many years. Yeah, but this is a copy of an old bows used in 18th century.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're basically holding a huge value in your two hands at the moment, I guess.
This is not so much of a value because it's a new piece of wood, but this one, yes.
Yes, could work a family house back in UK. Okay then, you are absolutely gorgeous, and could you tell me please, where have you been or where do you performing if someone wants to visit you?
Right now I'm based in UK, so I play most in UK. That means usually London.
But you're willing to travel all over the world as
Yes.
you used to be, I guess.
I used to travel a lot. When I lived in Berlin, I was traveling all the time because lots of concerts happened in Basel in Switzerland or in France or Portugal, Spain, everywhere, or in Japan, my homeland. Yes, in UK right now, because of my family situation as well, I try to have more local works, so that's why I play more concerts in London, in the orchestra, like the Age of Enlightenment, or English concert, Gabrieli consort. I also belong to a small ensemble called Feinstein Ensemble, where I also play some solos. And some teaching in the University of Birmingham for the historical performance practice class or chamber orchestra project. I coach them sometimes. Yes, so that's where I usually play, or give some small recitals anywhere I'm asked to.
That's very good. As you said, as you started your interview, basically you're a freelancer. That means everyone can hire you. So if they're interested, they can contact you directly or through by myself. And also it is, as you mentioned, you part of the university in Birmingham. And if someone wants to learn from you personally, not through the university because they don't want to get involved into the uni, would you be able to teach them? Are you open to, or you do it already?
I do have a few private students. I have one or two through the university sometimes where they can just get a musical scholarship to have private lessons. And otherwise, people I'll be really welcome to the modern violinists who would be interested in playing some early music, so would like to learn the style either on the historical instrument or on the modern instrument to learn about it, because these days modern musicians are required actually to know about the style at the end of the day, especially in UK. Yes, so I'm open to all these things. One thing probably I don't do so much is to teach small children, because that's more specialized work. I find it's yes, it takes more different approach very often. Yes, I've done it before, but
How old were you when you touched the violin first time in your life?
probably 3 or 4.
Oh, fantastic. And since then, it's your passion.
Since then somehow it was my passion.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Miki. I really appreciate it. I think you are absolutely gorgeous here with the instrument, without the instrument, with the baby. So I wish you all the best with the rest of the pregnancy and having the baby as well. And the best of luck with your career. And please contact us if you would love to see Miki even in your private venue. So Miki is willing to help you. I think you guessed what I'm going to say now, because I can't resist to ask you to show your skills. So would you be so kind, please, to greet us with a piece of music?
Well, I can play a part of a little bit something. Let's say, give you an example of a Passacaglia I've mentioned. So this is Franz von Bieber, the composer from 17th century in Austria. He was also a violinist at the time.